Hello and a very warm welcome from my side. My name is Michaela Dorfer and I am working as sales manager for Lindner WashTec. So for the next couple of minutes, I am having the honor to talk about the Polymer Matters success story. So in more detail, I will explain you how you can enable food-grade approved recyclate. So, every great success story starts with cows. With cows, with more cows, and even more cows. So that's me, with the cow of my brother. That's Claudia from Arema, also with cows. And then we are having here our general manager, Marcel Wilberg, Clemens Kitzberger from Arema, Claudia from Arema, and then the Polymer Matters team, which approached us. So I have a question for you, considering that we are on the second day in the afternoon. So tell me, what do cows produce? Just a bit louder, a bit enthusiasm. Milk, milk, that's good. I'm happy that the right answer came in the first couple of minutes. So actually, that's what it is about. We have cows, we have milk, but the most important thing what we are seeing here is the container in which the Polymer Matters team is going to fill up the milk. So just a couple of words. Polymer Matters is situated in Northern Ireland. I think you could see it on the pictures with this very nice background and green fields. Before I go into more detail, I'm assuming that not every one of you knows what Lindner WashTec is doing and who Lindner WashTec is. I see some familiar faces in here, but for the other people, I would like to make a short introduction. So Lindner WashTec was established in 2013. We are situated in Austria, in the south of Austria. We are currently a bit over 60 people. We have been realizing more than 200 projects all over the globe in the last couple of years. We have a sales office in Germany. We do the engineering in Feistritz an der Drau, very nice place, as I told you, in the south of Austria. And then also we have sales offices in North America, South America, also establishments in India. So, to come to this success story, also I would like to give you a little bit of background where we are coming from. So Lindner WashTec itself is part of 50% holded shares by Lindner. Maybe you're familiar with the shredding technology of Lindner. So Lindner is a company which is over 70 years old, still family owned. It was established in 1948. We have a bit over 400 employees there with the production hall, as you can see it here on the picture. And we have a global presence with 4 sales subsidiaries all over the world, the ones that I mentioned before already. And then on the other side, we hold 50% shares by the Arema Group. So we are part of the Arema Group. I guess some of you are familiar with the extruding solution Arema is offering. So just a couple of words to Arema. They are the market leader in extrusion business. They have been founded 1983, and we can say that they have been establishing over 8,000 projects all over the world in the last couple of years. So beside, of course, Arema itself, some other companies like PureLoop, Keycycle, Plasticpreneur, also Lindner WashTec is a part of this group. Now I would like to go a bit more into detail about the Polymer Matter success story. So you have already been seeing the material, the milk jugs that were displayed on the first picture. So these are HDPE milk bottles. The line which is established there can process up to 3 tons per hour on throughput capacity. The line itself is consisted over the following things. So we have a pre-sorting there, we have a cold washing there, we have a hot washing there, we have a flake sorting there, and then at the end also we are having the aroma extrusion. So one thing I would like to talk about are the key factors which you would have to consider if you would like to go into FDA food grade approved recyclate. So one thing that is very important, in the first place, you have to have a feedstock control. So this assures you that then, in the end, with all the authorities, you're going to get the food grade approved recyclate. Then second, you have to bring into place an effective sorting, which then ensures you that you have the right quality to go into the food grade approved materials. One thing, and that is where we are coming into place, is you have to have a high level decontamination through a hot washing process. So that's in fact one of the key components that we are offering from Lindner WashTec. And then last but not least, you have to go into an extruder which offers you, like in this case, a refresher to decontaminate all the volatile components that you would still have in your material there. So this would be the display of the cycle, how it would be. So you can see it here with Polymer Matters. What is the story behind? They have already been producing milk. They had already their milk jugs, but then they were thinking like, hey, we would like to use recyclate in order to produce those milk jugs again. So what is important here? When they approached us, we of course are the company which is providing the technology. But also, of course, you need a customer which can assure where the material is coming from, okay? Because we want to make sure that the input material you are having there is coming out of food contact and is not having contact with other kind of contaminated plastics. So you wouldn't want to have a milk jug container which would have been sitting next to, let's say, an oil container, because I think no one of us is keen on knowing that you're drinking out of a milk jug, which actually could have had cross-contaminations or like this kind of parts. So that's the thing, what you can see here. Polymer Matters, in that case, can assure that they are collecting the material which they are going to process in their line. So on the second picture, you can see where they are having their feedstock. And then the process, you can see it down here. So you have Mike here. I also see him there. He is in the audience, which is very nice as well. And then what you can see here next to it is the hole where we have been placing our components, which is then the process, followed by the extruder, and then in the end, you can see the recyclate which is produced. So once you have this recyclate, you are then going into blowing the canisters as you can see them up there. And then of course you have the milk again, which then is going into the canisters, and that's where you are going to close the whole loop, because once you have been delivering these canisters to the customers, you're going to collect them again, and then the whole process is going to start from the beginning. So I would like to go a bit more into, let's say, technical detail on what we as Lindner WashTec are providing here. So you have been seeing all the process which Polymer Matters has established. So what we are providing is the components that you can see here. Okay, so washing in that case, I would say washing is a quite straightforward process. Okay, so you have size reduction, you have a pre-washing, you have another friction. In that case, very important, you have a hot washing, because you want to make sure that with caustics and solder, you are going to get rid of all the contaminations that you are having on your material. Come in, it's no problem. We're coming. And then in the end, you're just going to dry off the material and put it into the extrusion. Sounds quite easy, right? But of course, it's a very well-established process that has to work together. So what you can see here, can I also point with this? Is this working? Sorry, is this a laser pointer as well? No, not? Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this. So the setup would be like this. You have the shredder in the beginning, where I'm going to do the size reduction. Then going out of the shredder into an intermediate silo, just to guarantee that you have a very continuous flow in the washing line. From there, you are going to do a pre-washing, a second step size reduction, and then, as I already told you, one of the key components, you can see it in the upper corner there, is our hot washing process. So what are we doing here? We have a continuous stream in the beginning, and then we take the material, let's say, offline, because we are going into a semi-patch washing process there. So the hot washing works like this, that you collect the material in a bunker up front, and then it's followed by 2 cubes. And in these cubes, with a mixture of water, soda, caustics, we are guaranteeing that we really wash every flake which is going to enter into the hot washing. So, first cube, and then you're going to do this again in the second cube, which then is followed by another friction washing, and then in the end you would dry off the material with mechanical drying. And then going into the extruder. So, that's also a picture, not only talking in theory, but also what I would like to show, the setup of our line in Northern Ireland. So just to summarize, to give you this overview on what is important if you want to go into food-grade recyclate. So first of all, you have to ensure where the material is coming from. And then you have the process of pre-sorting, going into the interface of the washing line. So I explained it to you. And then, of course, going into the extruder. And one thing which is also very important you have to consider there is the water treatment, which of course is also part of this whole process, because you want to make sure that you're reusing the water, that you keep it in the loop, which is very important also to have reductions on your consumption of water. So, as our planet matters, I am coming to our video now because I think pictures say more than 1,000 words or explanations that I could do here. So if you would like to go into more detail, or if you're planning to establish one of these projects in the future, that's the link to my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to connect. Otherwise, if you just go out on the hall, D16, that's where our booth is. So we can also talk in more detail if you would like to do that. And then I would like to lean back and enjoy the movie about the Polymer Matters success story.
Our family has been involved in the milk business for several generations, and we've been involved in the recycling sector for over 20 years. Polymer Matters came about with the aim to produce food contact regranulate that we will be able to use in the dairy to displace and replace virgin plastics which are currently used for the packaging that we need for our milk containers.
We want to achieve quality in the circular economy. We want to recycle plastic waste, post-consumer waste, and we want to reuse them into equal products.
We want to close the circle. That means it should be a bottle-to-bottle circle.
We're trying to source HDPE, so all the material we collect has already gone through a sorting facility, so the bales here should have a high content of our target material. This is stage one of our plant. We debale them, put them up the incline conveyor into our feed bunker, where we regulate the flow of material into the plant. When we've gone through our first stage sorting, we go to our Lindner wash tank line.
So the washing line starts with the shredding process. We are cutting the material to 60mm flake size. Then it goes over a pre-washing, where we are separating heavy foreign objects like stones, metal, aluminium. Then it goes into an additional size reduction step with a wet granulator. And then it goes to one of the key components in the complete washing line, into the hot wash.
The Lindner hot wash is critical to the process. It allows us to remove the organic residue, glues, labels, and give us the clean flake, which allows us to go on to the food contact stage. It's the last chance we have to really get the material clean. So, we're using a bit of caustic, a bit of detergent, a bit of anti-foam as well. And to go back to food contact, it's very important we get this stage right.
The challenge after very good after sorting and washing for the aroma part is to decontaminate the material, to filtrate it, to get a high quality resin for up to 100% PCR in the milk jugs. We installed an Interima 2018 TV Plus regrind Pro machine, so very special equipment for decontamination of milk bottles coming from the post-consumer stream. And there is our refresher equipment to make the final decontamination on the pellets.
We chose Lindner and Arima for this project as we're producing a high quality food contact regranulate, so we had to use best in market technology to allow us to achieve this goal.
Lindner as market leader for washing lines, and also Arima as the market leader for recycling extruders. Quality was for us from the beginning the most important part.
It makes me proud to see all this machinery installed, and it makes me very proud to have a customer here. When you look into his eyes, you can see how fascinated he is about the machinery, about his project.
Okay, thank you from my side. So if you have some questions, I am happy, or we are happy to receive them now.
Dennis Tomel from Chevron Phillips. I'm curious about the certification, the food contact certification. Where is this plant? Is this plant in EU, or is it outside of EU? And did you get EFSA certification if it is in EU? Thank you.
So it's in Northern Ireland. Yeah. Okay.
So no EFSA certification?
No, it's FDA approved. Yeah.
Thank you.
Eric Heveshi, Europac. How is the collection of bottles organized? Is it in Ireland somehow organized that the milk bottles are collected?
That's a very good question. So honestly, Mike, could you help me on that one? He's over there.
Thanks. The collection is done. It's done at the curbside, so it's mixed dry collections happen in the north of Ireland, similar to what goes on a lot of Great Britain and Ireland. So it's a dedicated recycling scheme. So paper, plastic, cardboard, aluminium, glass, all those materials are collected together. They're brought back to recycling plant. They're separated out, and then using optical sorters, we eject out the food content. We eject out the natural HDPE, which is predominantly those are milk jars, and then using a little bit of AI technology, we make sure we get a 100% stream of post-consumer food contact material. So hopefully that answers that question. And the previous question, sorry, from the gentleman from Chevron, I believe, the plant does have FDA approval. It also has novel technology approval to use for food contact in Europe, and we also have approval for use in the GB, so it can be used globally. So hopefully that answers that question as well.
Thank you. Someone else? Okay, good. Then thank you from my side. Enjoy your evening.